What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And I got my man Jacob, the great. We're here on
Yes, sir.
910
Yes, sir. Yes,
Sports.
sir. In the building.
We on 910 Sports, episode 5. Whatever. How you doing, brother?
Good, good, bro. You?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. God me woke me up again this morning, so that's all I can ask or whatever. Let me get this thing all the way set up like it need to be. Um, so we can get this thing popping. Uh-huh. Get all this stuff set up. But yeah, cause I wanted to
And
talk about,
we gonna talk
huh?
them struggling Clemson Tigers. Lord have mercy. But we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
how Clemson look like a Nerf football team, boy.
yeah, we gonna get into that. First, I want to get
Boy.
into that game Thursday night, man. We got to touch on that first. Get into that game. Get into that
Okay.
game Thursday night, cause I'm a Washington fan, so I gotta get into that first. Cause they aged me about five
I'm gonna pray
years.
for you. I'm gonna I'm gonna pray for you while we on this podcast. You said you're a
Yeah,
Redskins fan, man. I'm definitely pray for you, bro.
yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I'm so used to it now that but my thing is, at least I know that they competitive. It's been years where it had been games like this where they would have got blown out. They would have folded in. They would have the mistakes they was making. They would have gave in, and the Giants would have blew them off the field. Because you got to think the Giants done beat them like five
Right.
times in a row. So it would have been games where the Washington would have gave up and would have got blown off the field. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed by
Mhm.
Tyler Heineke last year in the playoffs. And when you see something like that in the playoffs, the first thing you thinking is it gonna translate and go and be the same moving forward. So when he came in last night, that you got to think that's a big prime time game that he came in and played big in. So that's his first prime time
Mhm.
game. The pressure's on him to come in and win. They 0-1. So basically he had to come in and be able to uh show that he could handle it. So by him being able to show he can handle it, it made things easier for him uh uh to do what he was doing. The main thing that I'm looking at
Right.
is that the defense. The defense right now is disappointing to me because we kind of hanging our hat on that. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. We kind of hanging our hat on that defense, and that defense is not showing improve like they should be. You know what I mean? And that's the issue for me
Mhm.
or whatever because that front four wasn't getting any pressure on Daniel Jones at all. And I will say this much: Daniel Jones showed me a lot with the running game, the way he was throwing the ball. Um, I think what they thought he could do, he was doing for without turning the ball over. But our front four, because the
Mhm.
thing about it is, if our front four doesn't get pressure, our back end is gonna get exposed, and they got exposed a lot that other night because I realized our secondary, I posted our secondary is garbage. Our secondary couldn't stop a cold, man. Like we couldn't stop a turtle out there. Like we was getting burnt left and right out there. You know what I mean, or whatever. And then we got cornerbacks that's getting paid good money. You got William Jackson the third. We got Kenneth Fuller that we brought back, which I was kind of skeptical about bringing him back. Landon Collins has been somewhat a disappointment since he been there. You know what I mean? So, uh, employ because we got a lot of young people, young guys too. So I don't necessarily put it on them. But the guys, the veterans, wasn't even showing up or whatever. Now our linebackers, they played decent. They made some plays, or whatever. I know what's his name, Jonathan Allen. He was all over the field the other night, so he was making some plays. John Bostic was making some plays. So our linebackers was making some plays. It just, you know, Our defense needs to definitely play better because we can't ask Todd Taylor Heineke to save us every week. And he made big play after big play, you know what I'm saying, the other night. So is he the long-term answer? Maybe not. But if our
Well,
defense can play better, we
well,
can at least compete.
well. This is
What's
what
up?
I'm gonna say. And I grew up in a Redskin household. My dad and my mom diehard Redskins. All my aunties that live in DC and stuff, they used to have season tickets ever since I was. So I grew up in a Redskins household. So I can remember back the Redskins. One thing you're gonna know about them, their linebacker core is gonna be A1 Pro Bowl status all the
Mm-hmm.
time, man. But how many teams do we have in NFL, bro?
32.
32 teams in the NFL. Out of
Mm-hmm.
32 teams in the NFL, only about 27, only about 26 to 27 really invest in the secondary. And this is my thing about NFL coaches and stuff like that. Why is it so hard for people to invest in the secondary? Like we gonna take back in the day, like the '85 Bears and when Bill Walsh had the 49ers, and even when the Redskins, the Doug Williams days, the John
Mm-hmm.
Riggins days, the Art Monk days,
Mm-hmm.
y'all had crazy, crazy amount of players in the secondary that was top dollar players, man, and that's Hall of Famers. Like
Mm-hmm.
what's up with the Darrell Greens and the Deions and the Ronnie Lotts and the Atwaters and the John Lynches and the Bill Bates of today?
Well, I don't know just it coming out of high school and college if players are necessary if we have great corners and safeties necessarily coming out because if you hear every day they'll tell you like you can find a great wide well you can find a bunch of great wide receivers. That's why wide receivers don't have the same leverage as far as getting the top money. You could trade a wide receiver and get another one coming in because every year in every draft you get 5 or 6 top wide receivers coming out. Cornerbacks and safeties, you be lucky if you get 2 great corners, and we don't really get shutdown corners. You get scheme corners. You get like
Mm-hmm.
corners that can cover
Mm-hmm.
certain areas of the field or certain type a certain type of corner, a bump and run type of corner. But you don't get like you don't get necessarily a shutdown Dion, Champ Bailey, Charles Woodson. You don't get those type of cornerbacks, every year coming out or whatever. They just not there. And so I think what happens is a lot of these teams focus on stuff that they can control, which is getting a great linebacker. Because they gonna do their due diligence, especially in the first round. First round, they looking at splash and they looking at who can have a impact immediately. And so in the first round, if I'm gonna invest this money, I'm investing something that I feel like is a sure thing. So a linebacker, a defensive end, those players are almost sure things in the NFL versus a corner or a safety. They hit and miss sometimes with a corner and a safety in the NFL. That's why you don't see teams investing as
Well, this
much in corners and safeties.
well this what I would say, man. Dal Green still work for y'all front office, correct?
I believe so. I believe so. I'm
Okay,
not
so
100% sure, but I believe so.
Dal Green, we all
I know
know
Doug
that
Williams
Dal
does, but
Green
I'm not sure about
is
Dale Green.
okay. So we know Dal Green is a top tier corner, and
Yeah.
we can say what we want to say when it comes to cover shut down corner. Like I'm gonna say that him and Dion neck and neck. The only thing that will
Yeah.
give Dion leverage is because they moved him around a little bit. Quick corner, strong corner, free safety, strong safety. You know what I mean? And Darryl could have been moved around like that too, as well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the new players, you need people like Dale Green to kind of really come on the field and kind of help the coaches. And the coaches should be open, man, if Dale was to come on the field, even though he work in the front office.
But
And
see, the
even
thing
like
about
Doug Williams, he can help.
go ahead,
Doug can
keep
help
going.
Tyler a lot, man. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Doug can
Yeah.
help Tyler a lot. and just even like some of the older guys that really played for y'all, man, like a Art Monk and a Gary Clark, man. What's the two linebackers that played with Doug Williams? That was
Uh,
Pro Bowlers.
uh, no, well, no, that wasn't London Fletcher. London Fletcher was afterwards. Shoot, I can't, I'm not sure. I know you're talking about, but I know, yeah,
Was it was
London,
it
huh?
was it Marshall? Cause
Yeah,
didn't y'all get Marshall from the
Marshall.
Giants?
Yeah, Marshall. Well, I think we had Marshall for a little while, but like so on the back end. I know we
Wilbur
had London
Marshall
Fletcher
and
his last 5 years
Wilbur
too.
Marshall. Right, right.
Whatever.
So y'all have Hall of Famers, man, and y'all have some greats that see. I don't even know why teams don't still communicate with the greats. So like, and I feel as far as the coaching goes, man, um, it's a couple greats, that's gonna be off of coaching jobs. Like a lot of people, have said when it comes to Washington, Doug Williams need to be the head coach. I heard a lot of people say that was non-Washington Redskins fans,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
they said Washington football team, but
yeah.
I grew
I
up
mean,
off
I
the
like
Redskins,
Ron
so I still
Rivera.
call them Redskins.
I like Ron Rivera. The only problem I
Yeah,
had with
okay.
the issue with the other night, I felt like with the whole game plan was, I think that they're riding too much on that front four to do everything, and they kind of wore them out. If you could tell by the game, their front four started to getting tired because they waited until like the fourth quarter, which kind of worked out, but they waited till the fourth quarter to start bringing fifth man in the box, doing corner blitzes and stuff like that to try to put more pressure on Daniel Jones when they realized that front four just wasn't getting to him on his own. And by that time, they was getting tired or whatever. So, because Chase Young had to keep going in and out the game to get a breather. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to ask a man to keep rushing the quarterback over and over and over and again throughout the game, especially when you got these 10, 12 play drives every time you're getting on the field. So I think when they start, I think they have to be more like tricky and more like they got to be more creative in the
Mm-hmm.
way they call these schemes. Like you can't do the same thing every time and line up and say front four go get them. You gotta switch it up. Okay, on this play we blitzing 6 7 players at a time. On this one we doing corner blitzes, we doing safety blitzes. We doing the linebacker blitz. So even if you got that front four putting pressure, if you always got that fifth man coming around the side or up the middle, then that'll put pressure on because you got Josh Allen next week. Josh Allen a different type of beast. You know what I'm saying? He can throw the ball, he can run, so he make quick decisions. So with him, it's gonna be a little bit different. Now when you play against Matt Ryan, he a statue. So you might get away with just doing the front four, but you can't have the same scheme of how you rushing them front four every game. So that's the only thing I really would say about that. It was a great game or whatever. That we competed hard and we got the victory, and that's all I can add. So we can move on to this game on Saturday. These games on Saturday, man. You was talking about the
So so
Clemson game.
so so before we move on,
Uh,
before we move on, I'm looking in the tabloids, and sports experts say Fitzpatrick need to be out and bring in Cam. They didn't say bring in Cam to start, but they said bring in Cam and Fitzpatrick need to be out. So
well,
Ron has been speculating that he's open to bringing in Cam. At first he wasn't, but what changed his tune? But his tune is changing.
well, I'm gonna tell you why that's a bad idea. Because Cam, and you already know how I feel about Cam. I'm not a Cam Newton fan, but this has nothing about me being a fan or not being a
Of course
fan.
you're not.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with me being a fan or not being a fan. It has to do with one. It has to do with how it's going to affect the team. So, in other words, let's say Cam Newton got signed to like Kansas City. You already know if he goes to Kansas City, he's strictly be a backup. Cam
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is making hell $500 million over the next 5 years. He's gonna end up making about $500 million just on the field. So we already know it ain't no replacing him unless it's an injury. And if you put if you can put it behind a Josh Allen, a Dak Prescott, certain quarterbacks that's making money, that's already established their spot, then it's not going to be a distraction. If you put them behind a Taylor Heineke, a Daniel Jones, certain quarterbacks that's iffy if they might, there's like a week to week type of deal trial thing. It's gonna cause too much distraction because every bad play or every whatever, it's gonna say throw Cam in, and then when you throw
Hold
Cam
on,
in, if
bro.
he have a bag, if give me a second.
Yeah, somebody was at the door, bro. My bad. But yeah,
Uh, yes,
I don't know, man. I, I, I don't know why you're not a Cam fan, or you know, but
I'm
that's
not
neither
a
here nor
Cam
there.
Newton fan because
But
he
for,
never got
for,
never improved. You know what I mean? He never improved
he
his
never got
like
what?
Cam Newton has never had two winning seasons in a row. You know that Cam has never had two winning seasons in his career ever.
Look at the team. Look at the team he was on, bro. That team was not a great team at all.
I mean, I get that, but that's my thing. I think that's why. I just think in his thing, he just overhyped. I think he overrated. It's more of an overrated thing than just don't like
No,
him. I mean, I just think Cam Newton is overrated. Like for me, he's the same exact player that he was when he played in Auburn. Where has he improved at from the time he was in Auburn till now? You tell me one stat he improved in. He hasn't improved in nothing. He's the same exact player. You know what I'm saying? What has he
actually,
done?
man, actually, actually, he's a way better thrower than he was in Auburn. And I would say that Cam was an elusive player, man. So he was a mobile quarterback, but he do got a cannon. But I think when people say distraction, and he will be a distraction. I think that mentally these players, if that distract you that quick, bro, if somebody distract you like that mentally, man, you need to grow up for
No,
real,
no, no,
for
no,
real.
no, 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 no.
Like, cause shitting no grown man.
I don't mean a distraction. I don't even necessarily mean it's a good or a bad distraction. Okay, I'll give you an example. You ever watch Different World? You watch the world show Different World?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about this the other day. Remember when Dwayne Wayne started dating Whitley, and Dwayne Wayne was real
Mm-hmm.
smart. And then Whitley, they had that one episode where his grades was failing because he wanted to hang around with her so much, and he had to finally tell her like, "Look, we gotta
Mm-hmm.
put some restrictions on this because you so fine, and I want
Mm-hmm.
to be around you so much that I gotta focus on my books." So my thing is, Cam Newton isn't necessarily a negative distraction, but what I'm saying is, if you bring a Cam Newton in, if you have a quarterback that hasn't established himself as being the quarterback, then you're gonna be kind of are forced to put him in the game, regardless if he needs to be in the game or not, just because. That's why I said if Cam Newton comes in, it has to be in a situation where you absolutely need a quarterback right then and there, no matter what. Like he has to come in and start immediately, or he's there because he's going to be a backup. Like he's in a situation where, like I said, behind a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, he know he's not getting in the game unless it's an injury. Now, if you put him in like somewhere uh like Houston, where he may play immediately because they terrible, then that's another thing. Then you can throw him in. But if you put him behind these quarterbacks where you kind of say, well, we like a Tyler Haneke, but we want to put somebody else in. We want to see what Cam can do because he threw the ball, he had a bad game or a bad throw or a bad whatever series. Then all of a sudden you have that quarterback controversy, and I think Washington is one of those teams right now that we don't need that. We don't need a quarterback controversy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, we trying to build on something, a culture right now. So, because if Cam Newton is not our long term
But
future, I don't want a stopgap. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not a long term future.
but it's only a controversy because people pay attention to the media. It don't even be the organization, man. It be the media.
I
That's the
mean,
only
wherever it
time
come from,
these
it come from.
coaches and the
Go
but I'm
ahead.
just saying though, man. Like I think coaches and the general manager and the front office should be a little bit more inclusive with their thinking, man. Like to really feed into the media, man. Like it's been a lot of quarterbacks on the same team, and the media said it was beef, and it was really no beef. Like when Dak first got to Dallas, Romo had no beef with Dak, man. Dak had no beef with Romo. He actually say he learned some things from Romo. He's like, but the media wanted this just like the whole Terrell Owens thing when he was playing, bro. The media always twisted his words up, bro. And so
Yeah.
when people like Lynch deny to take interviews, they want to find him. Why? Because the media gonna twist his words up anyway. You know what I mean? So I just
Well, see, and
I
another
just
thing
think
too
that
with Cam is Cam
when
gonna
you
get
say
vaccinated too. Is Cam gonna get vaccinated? Because if Cam come in and not vaccinated, and then all of a sudden they cost him a game or whatever, or he got to be out again, then that's gonna be another thing. So Cam got to get vaccinated too. I hate to say that because I'm not one to tell anybody what they can't have to.
Cam Newton,
But his situation, he
and
got
I'm
to
gonna
do it
say
because
Cam
he already
probably
been
won't
out
play.
twice, huh?
Cam
So what?
Cam probably is probably never gonna play. Cam probably is not gonna play again, bro.
Not if he
I'm
don't get
gonna tell you why.
vaccinated. He
Cause
not. If he not
Cam made it
vaccinated, he
clear.
not.
Cam made it. Cam made it clear that he's not vaccinated. He said, "I'm not with this new world order." I mean, that's his choice. So I mean, that's a whole. This new world order is a whole different conversation. So we're gonna get on that. Boy, look at here.
Well, yeah.
That's a whole different
Well. Somebody,
conversation.
what's up, Chris? Well, somebody
So
said in the comment. Somebody said in the comment. Chris said in the comment. He said, welcome to the world of sports media. The media divided Wentz last season with the Philadelphia fan base, and he a big Philadelphia fan, so he would definitely know more about that than we would. So, I well,
hmm
I would say with that, I just think that it was kind of bad timing for Wentz and Nick Foles because I think that by Nick Foles going off and winning the Super Bowl, Wentz was never going to win that fan base back like that or win that town back because Nick Foles, whether Wentz got him there, but Nick Foles got him over the hump and beat the GOAT. So at that point, there was no coming back for Carson Wentz. It just wasn't. You know what I'm saying? At that point,
And this
they
is
should have got what
and,
they.
and, and, and,
You
and
know how
Chris,
that
what's
goes.
up, man? Shout out to you, man. Yo, Chris, what's up? Shout out to you, brother. But this is what I'm gonna say, man. We all of us NFC East on here. You got me, Cowboys. You got Icon Redskins, and got you, Illy Philly. So this is what I'm gonna say about that. With me growing up on NFC East football, I really don't believe that Carson Wentz would have beat Tom Brady. I don't even believe that he would have got them there to meet Tom Brady. That year, Foles had a type of poise that he didn't even know he had, man. He was in a rhythm, a strong rhythm, man. And the offense that y'all put around him, you know, made him better. They called the plays for him. They designed this for him. It kind of resonated with the whole offense, what he was doing. And
Yeah.
so when they got rid of him, when they got rid of him, I thought it was a bad move because you don't get rid of a man who just won a Super Bowl and who just beat Tom Brady. I thought that
Yeah.
was the most garbage move from the GM in the world. So man, but
Yeah,
it's gonna
because
be
it's one of those
interesting to
things. I
see.
think it was an ego
It,
move. It was an ego move. It was an ego move. The general manager, the high ups in the management, basically pick this kid, and they didn't want to make it look like they made a bad decision. And you're right because it's been in any other situation. If a quarterback win you a Super Bowl, you just gonna have to just cut your ties with that other quarterback. And like he said, like Chris just said, he said, Nick Foles is a legend here. We have fans who will say Foles is better than Wentz. You know what I'm saying? And he also said, I agree for an extent. Doug Peterson, he said Doug Peterson beat Bill, that was the best coach game I've ever witnessed. So he was like, basically, he was saying Doug Peterson out coached Bill Belichick in that game. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, or
He
whatever.
did. He did.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with that or whatever. So, but I think Doug Peterson never bought into Carson Wentz either. He never bought into him. I think that's what ended up splitting everything up at the end because I don't think Doug Peterson and then that when it came down to it, what made no sense to me because you could tell the management was all over the place. First, you say we're gonna fire Doug Peterson to keep Carson Wentz because Doug Peterson didn't buy into Carson Wentz, but then you get rid of Carson Wentz anyway. So you should have kept Doug Peterson. You know what I'm saying? So now they all over. Now they had to start from scratch, and then they got Jalen Hurts, which they don't believe in. So they get Jalen Hurts, and they don't even believe in Jalen. That's the thing problem with Philly. Philly can't. They can't. They so fickle. They can't even figure out who they gonna believe in. You know what I'm saying? As a quarterback, they basically looking for
And see,
Jalen Hurts replacement already. You know what I'm saying? So
and see, and see the thing about that. Every time they say the management say something derogatory about Hurst or it's a blog about Hurst can't do this. Jalen Hurst been proving the management wrong, proving
yeah,
them wrong, man.
yeah. He
And like
has.
if a quarterback consistently prove you wrong, man, why not embrace that quarterback, man? But what's
Yeah,
gonna happen is they're
exactly.
gonna get rid of him, and he gonna go somewhere and he gonna go somewhere and blow up. Watch what I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like if they got rid of Hurst right now, if they said they wanted to trade him, the Texans will probably pick him up. I promise you that, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
So
and, and
anyway,
speak and speak
uh,
and, and speaking of Texas, man, before we get into the college, man, um, why do you still have Deshaun Watson on your roster? You can't stand him. You hate his guts. You don't want him there. Let the man go, man. Let him go, man. It's just like, did you read the blog that I put up in the in the sports group, man? About
I,
Green Bay said they looking to make some trades, and they talking about Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers. They talking about
yeah,
Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers. He's ready to
yeah,
go. He's ready to go. They're ready for him to go. It's just been it just has not been a good fit. So he was tired of getting to the NFC Championship and losing. He was he just tired the organization, man. And then he felt some sort of way, but he need to get out his feelings, man, because every team is going to draft a young quarterback that's up next. And so he said on the blog, you already drafted my replacement, so let him play. So that means he went out of there, bro.
yeah. So Chris was saying, did the Giants fans want Hostetler over Sims? Did the Colts fans want Earl Morale over Unitas? Foles is a serviceable QB, but he isn't an NFL starter. He lost his job in St. Louis, Jacksonville, then his third string on Chicago. And I get that part, but I think he earned the right to at least play it out for that next season after he won the Super Bowl to see before you threw Wentz back in because I think Wentz never really got his confidence back because I think Wentz was always looking over his shoulder after that Super Bowl, not just from the team but from the fan base because players listen to the media, they watch all these sports shows, so a lot of these play he was looking over his shoulder because he knew every time he went in the game it was going to be if he didn't play up to snuff, they're gonna say bring Nick Foles back, put Nick Foles back in. That's why they had to get rid of Nick Foles because Nick Foles, like I said, like I just talked about with Cam Newton, Nick Foles was a distraction towards Carson Wentz's development. That was my whole point. I'm not saying it was a bad
He never had
distraction, but
he never had any development, man. Carson Wentz never had no development. You know why? Carson Wentz is more fragile than a piece of notebook paper, man.
well,
If
yeah,
you
that too.
thump him
Yeah,
on the shoulder, he hurt, bro. Like you can't possibly pay a person that much money that is more fragile than a 3-year-old little girl, man. It makes no sense,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like he's a bum.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
He's a bum, man.
yeah,
And
I don't like him at all. I don't like him as a quarterback. So that's why I already told you. I probably took the Colts out of the playoffs. I already removed the Colts from the playoffs already just because of him. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So, but let's move on because we
Right.
only, we already spent so much time on this one topic, and we still got to get into this college football. Like I said, we about to go to 2 hours. This is 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? We go through this, a segment. You know what I'm saying? And then the next, time is gone. But anyway, man, like we talked about with Clemson,
Right.
um, Clemson is basically, uh, I mean, like I told you before, when it comes to these teams, college football is weird this year because you got so many new quarterbacks and new players on these teams, and I think Clemson. First of all, Clemson is probably ranked too high, so it's not necessarily Clemson's fault that they're not playing up to like expectation. It's the voters who put them in those spots that think they're better than what they are. Clemson is not a top 5 team. They just not. They
Well,
probably get beat by Carolina and
well, let me
Virginia
let
Tech
me
and Virginia.
let me say let me say this. Oh, let me say what a commentator said that sports fans don't realize. Sports fans only look for the offensive points and the highlights on offense. But they also said Clemson is one of 3 teams that has not given up a touchdown since the season started. Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
said Georgia got a high power offense and couldn't even score a touchdown on Clemson.
Yeah.
They scored their touchdown off of turnovers on defense. So
Mm-hmm.
when your defense still resonates with the experts that write sports columns and sports blogs, I'm just kind of looking at it like a lot of times defensively, people can still win ball games. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They might not even have a great offense, but defensively they can still win ball games. So here we are going into the 3rd game of the season, and no one has scored a touchdown on them yet. I would say that's pretty
Yeah.
impressive for a defense.
Yeah. Top 5 defense, yeah, I give them that. But you already know in college football, when you get into that Final Four, especially them championship games and the Final Four, as far as like getting to the trying to win a championship, your quarterback got to make plays. Your quarterback gotta make some plays. You can't be a thing where your
Mhm.
quarterback is shaky out there or whatever. You know what I mean? He got to make some plays at some point. And that's my thing is that because you got to
And
think they
then,
still got Carolina on the schedule. Then they still got Virginia. Carolina looked great last night. Like well, I don't know what happened that first game where they took the L to Virginia Tech, but that Carolina team is something. They coming. You know what I'm saying?
what Carolina team? What Carolina team we talking about?
North Carolina, you see them play last night? Did you see them play
You
last
talking
night?
about Tar Heels? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Tar Heels
I
is coming.
seen clips.
Oh, they coming. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They running
Tar Heels look
game.
good.
They put
Tar
up
Heels
like
look
three,
good.
400. They put up 350 yards, I think, last night just running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like Sam Howell, pretty much,
Mm.
who's supposed to be a Heisman candidate, he didn't even really have to do nothing to just back this, just kind of basically just say that down set height. You know what I'm saying? Last night, just off the running game. And they put up 50. And I mean, I know Virginia ain't no juggernaut, but still, Virginia's considered one of the better teams in the ACC. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Now,
But
now my Miami team, that's a whole other thing. I think Manny Diaz gonna get fired this year because we got way too much talent to be getting beat the way we getting beat. It's just ridiculous. No, I
hey
don't know what's
man,
going
so
on down there.
so this is my thing. Miami Hurricanes got so many Hall of Famers. I like Miami and I like Clemson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like Miami from back in the days, and I like Clemson because I grew up in the Clemson household. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought when I was a little boy that Jimmy Johnson was the best coach to ever touched a football, hands down,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what. I've had this argument that Jimmy Johnson has been the best college coach. Like you can look at the players that play for him are Hall of Fame players. So
Mm-hmm.
I have that debate all the time. And I will say this right here, man. Miami has lost its strategy because Miami used to recruit from the state of Florida a lot, man. A
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
All them guys that played in Miami and Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach and Pompano Beach and Hollywood Beach, Florida, Sunrise, Florida, that whole South Florida area. Miami used to
Mm-hmm.
recruit, man. And then when you hire a coaching staff, man, they don't reach out to the type of coaches they used to. So
yeah.
you have people who play down there like Ray Lewis. You got people, Michael Irvin. You got Warren Sapp. You got Adrian James. Like you got coaches.
Sure, you got
Like
Ed Reed on the
you got
sideline. You
players
got
that's
Ed
gonna be
Reed on the sideline, bro, every
yeah.
week. Ed Reed is a consultant on the team, on the sideline, in them on them defensive players' ears every game. So the thing, when you was talking about earlier, when you were saying with the Washington, how some of the older cats need to come in and be a mentor, and they need to reach out to them. Miami already does that. That's not the issue. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Champ Bailey, all not Champ Bailey, but Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, all the old Michael Irvin, all the older cats come in. They come to these games and they come to these practices and they try to get in these players' heads. You know what I'm saying? To me, like I say, Manny Diaz has done a great job recruiting and getting the recruiting back on track. But his X and O's calling a game is terrible. The offensive, first of all, their offensive game plan is terrible. Like they too predictable in the way they call plays. That's for one. Defense played pretty good yesterday, especially that front four. They was getting a lot of sacks and getting a lot of pressure out there. They secondary is something else, wholly different time. They get burnt too much. But I think a lot of that has come to do from the way they scheme. They put their corners too much on an island or whatever, by themselves, and they not shut down corners. If you don't have shut down corners, you got to know your personnel. If you don't have shut down corners, put them on an island. But the offensive side of the ball, Derek King is like a poor man's Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? He can throw the heck out of the ball. He can run around, but he's not as good as Kyler Murray. But you put too much on this man, and you're damn sure he gonna get hurt again for the season over with. Watch what I tell you. I hate to say that, and I wish all the best for the young man because you know what I mean. But whatever, he had a great career. He's a great athlete, but he's small and he take way too many hits to be the size he is. He's going to get knocked out of the game. A game or two before the season is over with. Watch what I tell you. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is
So
because he got
so
hurt
so
yesterday.
so I kind of we've been everybody been watching the state of Florida college football for a long time. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody been watching, the Miami, the Florida State, the Florida, and now you got is it I think it's UCF.
Yeah.
That built a pretty good program, and so, but a lot of people feel that the state of Florida, when it comes to college football, has went down tremendously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has. It has.
They say that you can't even trust that Miami, Florida State, and Florida was all going to be in the top 10. Like years ago, you could trust that those three
Yeah.
teams was going to be in the top 10. And
Yeah. Yeah.
even though Florida is looking more decent than Miami and Florida State, but at the same time, is it based on recruiting why the program has went down, or is it based on the politics in the state of Florida? Because
Well, I'm gonna
it's a
tell
lot of politics in college football as well.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. And Colin Cowherd, I listened to him. He made a good point. USC has been struggling because USC goes out and they keep trying. They get these coaches that don't have, they might can coach a little bit, but they get these coaches from Temple and these smaller schools and give them a chance, and they don't have really the name and the cachet and the clout to really carry the weight of the school or these programs or these cultures. I think of Florida State or Miami or Florida, they have to go out and get big name coaches. They have to get a name that's going to get you excited. Like if Florida State would have got Deion Sanders, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, go and get him, and then put a staff around him to help him with the things that he may not know. If Miami went out and got and hired Ed Reed or Ray Lewis to coach or whoever, somebody like that, or just a big name in general overall, Eric Bieniemy, he's out there. You know what I'm saying? So because a player like Eric Bieniemy, I think you put him anywhere, he'll be able to get the recruits to come in and still and or whatever, no matter where he came from. That I think all the time they want to say, oh, well, this
So
like Manny Diaz came from Miami, so he should know how to get recruits. It's not just about getting recruits. It's about the whole entire thing. Miami's still getting recruits. They're a top 15 recruiting school, but the X and the O's. knowing how to coach.
So
We know Eric Bieniemy how to coach a game. You know what I'm
so what
saying?
you saying if Florida Gators would have Emmitt Smith as their head coach, it'll get some excitement. And Florida State had Dion, or Florida State had what's his name, man, that used to play for
They
the
had
the
Charlie
linebacker that
Ward,
was on
Burke
the
Dunn. You know,
yeah yeah
I'm
yeah
just saying that not
yeah.
necessarily
So
there's
we
players
weren't done, but
per se, but a name that came from that program that people know. Nobody knows. Manny Diaz played on the team years ago, but nobody know who the hell Manny Diaz is, other than the fact that he came up through the
yeah.
ranks. But nobody really knew who he was. Whatever. But if you brought a Ray Lewis in, I
So
guarantee you, players gonna flop, and then you know what I'm saying, and then you can figure out the rest as you go. You know what I mean?
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed,
Yeah.
Michael Irvin, Warren Sapp, Jeremy Shockley.
Yeah.
People still know who Jeremy Shockley is, bro.
Yeah,
You
that's what I'm
know, he
saying.
probably the best tight end that came through the Giants. Yeah, you know what I
That
mean.
that's what I'm
So man,
saying.
I don't
That's
know,
what I'm
man,
saying.
but I would just like to see the Florida programs go back up because it kind of made it interesting, man. And then moving on from that, man, back to Clemson, man. I think that DJ, Clemson's quarterback, man, it's got to be some better offensive play calling too, man. Because I watched that game yesterday, and the plays they was calling, bro, was like flag football plays, man. That makes no sense, man. What is wrong with these offensive coordinators, man? It's like when they lose a quarterback that was predominantly good, or like so Deshaun Watson played in front of Trevor Lawrence. The
Mm-hmm.
plays that you call for Trevor Lawrence is the same plays that you call for Deshaun Watson, but you kind of change the narrative a little bit because you know that Trevor wasn't as mobile as Deshaun. But still, basically, you kind of draw it up the same format. And so, is it that Dabo don't trust DJ's arm, or what is it? Because Dabo was bragging in the offseason how much of a cannon he had, but we ain't seen him throw the ball down the field not one time since he's been a starter.
Well, I think that's what it
And
is.
I can tell you that Ross is really getting frustrated, because this is up on his last year, and he's a top tier receiver. Coming into this year, he was a top tier receiver, but we can't see that this year.
Well, I think that's what it is. I think, like I talked about before, but like a Carson Wentz, it's a lack of confidence. When you have a lack of confidence in your quarterback, it shows in the way you call the game. So you call the game differently if you don't trust your quarterback. You know what I mean? So if you don't trust that quarterback to get the ball down the field by throwing the ball, and you calling vanilla type plays or basic plays, that means it's either one or two things. You don't have trust in him, or he doesn't understand the playbook good enough to be able to run certain plays. So maybe in practice he's not executing the plays that you want to call. Maybe he's not executing those in practice. So it's maybe a few things going on with them, because you got to think we're still dealing with a young quarterback. So just because Trevor Lawrence came in, he was hell. Trevor Lawrence was LeBron James in high school and middle school because he already had a name back then. Deshaun Watson came in, he had a name coming in. DJ was one of the players you heard about him, but he wasn't like on their level as far as coming in. So talented wise, he don't even look like he's nowhere close. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. That's why they got to depend more on their defense to get them wins than their offense. But I think when the rubber hits the road, they're gonna struggle. If he don't figure it out soon, they're gonna get beat, and not just once, a couple of times before the
So,
season is over with. Because
no,
even when they had great teams, they had scares.
but what people don't know is that they have a backup. I can't think of his name, but he is a 5-star recruit, and he definitely can throw the ball. So I'm just looking for them to set DJ down, bro. Like
And they might have to.
like
These things happen because
yeah. But
you got to think,
I'm also looking for DJ to transfer. I'm looking for DJ to transfer because we can't say that he fits into the offense that Clemson run. So okay. Like look at it like this, man. It's a lot of quarterbacks that transferred from schools, just like we're gonna say um uh Appalachian State. It's some it was a quarterback that transferred from Iowa State and went to Appalachian State, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people were saying when he transferred, the bloggers were saying that he never fit into their offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not the offense that he was accustomed to, and he couldn't fit into the offense. So I'm thinking that maybe DJ don't fit into this offense.
I mean, that could be the case with this new transfer portal they have. You see players switching teams like an NBA trade. So with this
Yeah,
transfer portal, you see players. If they feel like that they don't fit into a system or they not getting what they want out of it, come season's end, they out. So it could be one of them situations. And then think about a program like Clemson. Clemson gonna have 3 or 4, 5-star quarterbacks on their roster at one time. It just depends on who's better, who edges out the other one. So if it comes down to it and the other quarterback emerges and starts playing a little bit better, or they want to give the other quarterback a look, then DJ may transfer next. He pop up next year and he in Georgia or somewhere. You know what I mean, or whatever. So, and I did want to touch on that too. Like Alabama, Alabama looked vulnerable for the first time yesterday because that defense is not as great as they thought they were. Now Florida's a decent team, but at the same time, I think Alabama can be beaten. I think Georgia might be the. Now, I don't want to give it to Georgia yet because Georgia, we know how Georgia is. They, for some odd reason, when they get to Alabama, they choke every time. But Georgia is the one team I think that could actually maybe get Alabama this year. Their defense is on par. If they can score enough to hang in there, they might can make some plays. The clip Alabama. But that's the only thing I would say about Georgia can't beat Alabama is the demons in their head. But I think as far as talent wise, Georgia
right.
can compete with Alabama. It's just the demons overcoming them demons in their head to beat Alabama.
Right. So right,
Yeah.
because I seen some. I seen a few clips of the South Carolina Georgia game, and oh man, listen, man. South Carolina look like a Nerf football team out there, bro. Oh my God, man. Now South Carolina for somebody,
Yeah.
boy, for somebody to beat you 40-13, and that was this hype about this 5 yard this 5 year senior that you got that used to be an athletic trainer. Now you got him playing quarterback. Like he used to be your trainer. Why is he playing quarterback?
That let you know how
What,
bad it done got down there. That let you know how bad it got down there. But
bro?
yeah,
Bro,
but yeah. So yeah, it let you know how bad it done got. But bro, like before we get out of here, cause we got like we got. I'm telling you, but the time he going by, man. So we got to get these stories. But we gonna get into these games, man. We gonna start doing some. We gonna pick some games, man, before we get out of here. Hold on. Somebody was saying something on
okay.
the side real quick. Did Oh no, we already seen. Okay, never mind. We already read all them comments. But yeah, the first game, I'm just gonna run them down. The Raiders versus Steelers. Who you got?
I got Steelers by 7.
Okay, I'm gonna put. Let me see. Both of us got. I got. I'm gonna say you say Steelers by 7. But you gonna say Steelers? I'm gonna say you say. I'm gonna say you. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the Raiders. I'm gonna say the Raiders. Just for my brother-in-law too, man. I'm gonna say the Raiders.
But
I'm gonna say the Raiders by
okay,
3. I got 49ers and
okay.
the Eagles.
I'm gonna say the 49 by 14.
Okay, I got the 49ers too. I'm gonna say around about 14. So I'm gonna say we both got 49ers. Texas versus the Browns. This should be an easy
The Browns by 20.
one. uh I got a little bit more faith in Tyrod Taylor, at least keep him in the game and make it competitive a little bit. And the Browns, sometimes the Browns to me, they kind of, I mean, I know they're the better team. I still got them winning, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout like that. So I'll say the Browns by 10. But I just say we both got both of them. Um,
Man,
Broncos.
you ain't giving the Browns no credit.
No,
You ain't giving the
because I
Browns
don't
no
trust.
credit, man.
I told you I don't trust Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no Baker Mayfield fan. You know what I mean? I just don't trust Baker Mayfield. He got to show me more. He got to show me a lot more for me to get on that bandwagon. Broncos
Hey
versus
man,
Jags.
but I will say this: they give it
Go ahead.
Broncos because I'm gonna say this for I give you my Broncos. I will say this, man, that he turned their whole organization around, and I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna move on. But yes, his arm can't be trusted in the big dance because he can't win the big dance because he don't have enough poise down through the stretch. But the
Yeah.
Broncos will win that game by 10, and Melvin Gordon III will have about 180 yards rushing on about 17 carries.
Ooh, well, you said Melvin Gordon. So you say Melvin Gordon. I'm gonna write this down. You said 180. 180.
About 17 yards, about 17 carries, no more than 20
17
carries.
carries. 180. So I'm gonna write that down. So I gotta. I'm gonna be looking for that.
Because
Um,
because when he played the Giants the first game, he averaged 6.7 yards a carry.
okay. Okay. Well, I definitely think it'll be the Broncos, and I just because the Jags are so young, they just way too young. And I think Urban Meyer already looked like he over his head. You know who Urban Meyer looked like? Urban Meyer looked like Steve Nash when he was coaching the Nets in the playoffs. He looked lost. You know what I'm saying? That's that when the Nets
Actually, he
started
looked
having
like actually
huh?
he looked like Steve Spurrier when he was coaching the Redskins. Actually, he looked like Steve Spurrier when he was coaching the Redskins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Both scenarios. Because Steve Nash, we'll talk about that
right,
another time. But Steve
right.
Nash looked like a dead headlights in the playoffs against the Bucks when the Bucks started putting it on him. You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Um, Steelers versus the Panthers. Oh no, Saints versus the Panthers.
Actually, my brother that you seen here earlier, he going to the Panthers Saints game. So I'm gonna say the Saints by 17, and I'm gonna
Ooh,
say Jameson to throw for about 330 yards.
okay. I always feel like the Panthers is one of those teams where they real feisty. And even if they lose, they hang in there. They
Mm-hmm.
least because that's why Panther fans are so
Uh-huh.
frustrated because the Carolina Panthers they play hard every week. You can one thing you can say about the Panthers is like the Russell Westbrook. They gonna play hard every week. They might not get the results you want, but they play hard. So I'm gonna say the Saints will beat them, but I'm gonna say by by a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I'll say they keep it within a touchdown. But I'm gonna say I will say the Saints, so we still got both on that. Um Rams versus the Colts.
Rams by 20. And why I say that, Matthew Stafford Weiss put out on the blog, she's like, I've never seen my husband this happy on a
Mm-hmm.
professional level. She's like, he played for Detroit for years and he did not enjoy football anymore. Ever since he got traded to the Rams, he actually enjoys football. He smiles about football. He's in tune with the game that he loves. So,
Yeah, I agree.
that being said, yeah,
I agree, and I don't trust Carson Wentz at all. So Rams going in a route or whatever. Let's see.
yeah. So, now you can't trust Wentz at all. But you know, with that being said, man, I think that I think that you know that's fair to say. So who we got
Yeah,
next?
Bills versus the Dolphins.
I got the Bills by 9.
Okay, I got the Bills by 3. Okay, Pats versus the Jets.
Oh man,
Pat,
the
you said, "Oh
Patriots,
man."
the Patriots or the
Oh yeah,
Packers?
that's it. No, I said
Huh?
the Patriots versus the Jets.
Oh, I'm gonna take the Jets on that one, man.
What? Well, hey,
I'm gonna
you
take
ain't
the
no
Jets on
betting
that one,
man.
man.
You ain't no betting man. Anyway,
I'm, I'm, I'm,
I got the Patriots.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna take the Jets. Don't neither team got a defense. Um, and both of the quarterbacks are starting quarterbacks. They're average, man. So it can go either or. And
Anyway,
I don't know why you don't think it can go either or.
no, not with Bill Belichick. He's
Why you
not
don't think
letting
it can
no
go either
rookie
or?
because Bill Belichick don't lose the rookies. He don't lose the rookie
Bro,
quarterbacks.
I'm not so Bill Belichick is trash
He
since
not losing
Brady
to the Jets.
left. I don't want to hear
He not,
nothing about no Bill Belichick.
this game 14 Patriots in a route. You know what I'm saying? I got them at least by 14. So Beagles versus the Bears because I ain't even.
I'm gonna take the Bears, man. I'm gonna take the Bears by
I
6.
I got the Bengals because in Joe Burrow I trust. So I got the Bengals
I don't.
or
I
whatever. So
don't.
I
I
love me
just
some
think
Burrow.
I just think you I think you just trust him off his college days because he ain't really did much in the
Nah,
NFL.
what? Like he was balling before he got hurt last year.
No,
Did you see
bro.
last week? You know what I'm saying?
What
I
you
don't think that, huh?
what you call balling, bro?
He was putting up
What you
300
call balling,
a game.
bro?
He was putting up 300 a game. What you mean? What you mean?
Bro,
Well,
bro,
shoot.
I gotta see him make the playoffs before I can trust him, bro.
I mean, that's a whole nother story, but we gotta move on because we run out of time. Falcons versus Bucks.
Oh man, Bucks.
Yeah, me too.
Bucks by 25.
Vikings. Yeah. Vikings versus Cards.
I'm gonna say the Cards by 14.
Yeah, I got that too. Uh oh no, we lost it for a second. So yeah, so Titans will hopefully come back in a minute, but I got Titans versus Seahawks. I got the Seahawks winning that one. Um, or whatever. Okay, there we go. There we go. Back on now. You know, you think he came back up. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I don't know. We got you on two different screens. But anyway, let me
Okay.
remove this one. There we go. Yeah. So Titans versus Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I got
Seahawks by 6.
Russell Wilson. Yeah. Cowboys. I know you got the Cowboys, so I ain't even gonna ask.
Yes,
Cowboys
sir.
versus Chargers. So
By Cowboys by 4.
I got the Chargers because I'm a hater. Chief, Chief,
Okay.
ver-
All right.
Chief, ver- Chief versus the Ravens.
The Chiefs, of course.
Me too. Yeah. Both. And then last but not least, Lions versus Packers. I want to say the Lions because my nephew played for them, but I think the Packers gonna get back on track. They just think they just a better team.
Yeah, they are. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So
you're absolutely right about that.
So anyway, man, it's another great show. Next week we got my man Caprice Coleman, heavyweight champion of AML wrestling division. He's gonna be on next Sunday. We got our 910 Sports Reloaded show on the stereo app. So please check that
On
out
Tuesday.
Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. We get more in depth. We a little bit more uncut. We you know whatever. So please check us out. We had a great first show last week or whatever. So episode last week. So check us out. It's something a little different than this format. So just check us out, man, and just keep following us and whatever. So we got a lot in store. What we promise you, we will give you with the high school athletes and the college athletes. We working on bringing all these people in. So just be bear with us. I know the last couple of weeks have just been me and Jake up in here, and y'all probably get tired of seeing our ugly mugs. But at the end of the day, we're gonna bring you what you looking for. But anyway, man, just follow us on our platforms. 910 Sports /COG Radio for the fan page on Facebook. You can follow Jacob the Great on his Facebook page, me on mine, and we just keep moving. One of Okay, whatever. I don't know what that was. But anyway, man, we about to be out of here. I think I lost Jacob here at the end. But see y'all next week, same time, same backstage station. Y'all stay up and be blessed. It's your boy Icon. Let me see. Add him to the stream right fast. I think he went out. But anyway, we out of here. We about to be out of here. I want to get you right back on, but we out of here, y'all. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.